Hello, welcome to the Artemis Defense Institute. My name is Stephen Lieberman. I'm one of the co-owners of the Artemis Defense Institute, and this video series is really designed for new gun owners, although I think there's valuable information here for just about anybody that actually has a firearm. This particular interview focuses on a unique form of transaction called the private party transfer. As always, we start off these videos with the same, admonition. We always follow the 4 safety rules. These become part of our DNA. We treat all guns as though they are always loaded. We never let the muzzle cover or point at anything that we're not prepared to destroy. We keep our finger off the trigger unless our sights are on target and we've made the decision to shoot. And lastly, we know our target and its environment. Okay, so let's talk about the private party transfer. A lot of times clients will come to me and they'll say, okay, so I went to the gun store and there really wasn't anything there that I particularly liked. But you know what? My next door neighbor has this spectacular firearm and he's willing to part with it and he wants to sell it to me. Can I just give him some money and take possession of the firearm? The answer is no. There's some very, very unique familial relationships where this isn't going to be necessary. But as a general rule, you need to take the firearm, both parties need to go to an FFL. Now, an FFL stands for Federal Firearm Licensee, okay? A gun store is an FFL, okay? You need to go to the FFL with documentation. Both of you, this is for the state of California, both of you need to be California residents and you need to show proof that you are a California resident. If your next door neighbor is actually living full time in Idaho and he has an Idaho ID, you're not going to be able to engage in that private party transfer. Both of you actually have to have California identification. Irrespective of that, you're going to go to the gun store, you're going to tell the person at the gun store that you are there to do a private party transfer. They are going to inspect the firearm and bring it into their inventory. Now, as a result of that, when you go through the DROS process, that's the registration process, you're going to have a 10-day waiting period. So the gun's going to be out of both of your control for the next 10 days. Now, the good news is that once you have, in fact, started the DROS process, that's the filling out the forms and everything else, that gun is no longer registered to the original owner. At that point, it immediately becomes the equitable interest of the person that is purchasing the gun. They don't have a possessory interest in it yet. That won't happen for 10 days. But they do have an equitable interest in it, and the original owner is no longer going to be on that title. They're done. They're out. Okay? Again, every single private party transfer, whether it's for a handgun or a long gun, needs to go through an FFL with some very limited exemptions that it's going to be too complicated to go in now. If you do have any questions about it, absolutely you can contact your local gun store. You can also contact here at the Artemis Defense Institute, or you can send me an email directly. My email address, of course, is stephen@artemishq.com. As always, I want you to train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.